sure. I think I'll carry along this path here, because this should take me up to the bridge, or the aqueduct, to give it its correct name, or function, because it's used to carry a tramway, and it carries a leat underneath. So it's not just simply a bridge, folks. That's one of the leats down there. There's 3 of these. There's another 2 which we'll see down in the bottom of the valley here. Down to my right is the actual river. Not sure what the river's called. I'll put that up in the video. So, but yeah, this is just have a look here. You can see all these big random boulders just everywhere here, and in the fields surrounding the village of Luxulyan there's lots of big random boulders even as well. It's a very weird village for that reason. So, some absolutely huge boulders, and up behind that wall there's a track that goes down to the road that we've just come up. But yeah, don't know whether you can just make out just through the trees there, but we've actually got the aqueduct just coming into view. It's quite big. It's quite a tall viaduct. Not sure on the height of it. Just thinking now, I should have gone up on that path up there really. So it's a long walk back there now. I'm pretty sure I can get up the side here. There's a more direct route, if you like. Might not be the official route. We'll have a look. So, not much water flow in the leak down there, as you can see. There is things swimming in it periodically. So this is the aqueduct, folks. As used in one of the Omen movies, which was produced in about 1989, something like that. So it's a Trafry construction, this is. Probably one of the few bridges or aqueducts in Cornwall that didn't have a timber trellis on top. I think it was actually built from stone the first time around. So yeah, as you can see there, it was built between 1839 and 1842. So here we are, folks, just having a look at the aqueduct. So some jolly big piers there, and behind me That's where we were a minute ago, just looking at the sign. And behind me, you've got this array of huge blocks, or huge boulders here. And obviously the continuation of the little leat here. So we're going to walk a little bit further. We'll probably just about hear the river down there, which is today's little trek. We are going to be walking along here, which should take us to the watermill, which is at the end. Look at these huge boulders here, folks. Just look at that one. It almost looks like a dog's face, doesn't it? Got an eye there, and a nostril. Almost like the head of a dog, isn't it? Just with its eye closed. I mean, that's pretty precarious, that boulder. It just looks like it's leaning up against that tree branch, about to collapse. That's not good, is it? That is literally just hanging there, folks. Just literally just held up there by that branch by the looks of things. Ready to topple over. And this one looks like it's fallen over and created this funky little tunnel here, which you can see down there. Oh, that's a massive great boulder there. What we thought was a little boulder just propped up by that tree branch is actually a huge boulder, and that's not going anywhere by the looks of things. There's another big one there. Yeah, the leak's a little bit dry this side. Still a bit of water in it, but then we've had a lot of dry weather. So, we'll continue. And this should bring us, this is the middle path, what I would call the middle path. There is another path just down there. There is another path just up the slope here to my left. So, we're down in Luxulyan Woods today, folks. Walking towards Punt's Mill. And shortly we're going to be looking at a water wheel. It's quite a big water wheel. Unfortunately, there's not much left of it other than the wheel pit and some of the gears. So hopefully we're going to get some nice clear pictures of that today. Last time I was down here was probably about 7 or 8 years ago, with the old Phantom 4 drone. Took some video and some pictures back then, but today we've got the Mini Pro 4, and should be able to get some nice clear pictures with that today, as well as some 360 panoramic ones. Just have a look behind us at where we've just walked. Considering there's about 6 cars in the car park, I thought this would be busier. So I don't know where all these people are. Maybe they're all down here at the water wheel having a picnic. Who knows? There's a nice welcome bench. As you can see, there is stuff skating around in the leat here. Not quite sure what, but they're very quick. Could be tap holes, I suppose. Or is that too late in the year? I don't know. You can comment. Tell me whether that's wrong information. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where that path goes. Goes to the bottom track. There's a few butterflies flying around here today, which is nice to see. Haven't seen many butterflies in a good while. So yeah, so on the way back, we'll take the top path, following the top leat, and that will take us up to bridge level, so we can have a look at the bridge in a bit more detail. There's a dog there. Yeah, this is a nice little leisurely walk for me today. Still hear the river running in the bottom of the valley down there. It's quite a powerful river. Lots of boulders and stuff in the river. Thank God it's warmer, cooler today. Nice little bridge there, look. It's getting a bit overcast. Right, hope it's not going to rain. Didn't look up the weather forecast today. I think it was just saying it was going to be sunny periods. And here we have a collection of some more boulders, huge boulders. As I say, Luxulyan Valley is, well, Luxulyan itself is notorious for big boulders. That's just where I just walked from. Still not quite there, folks. We've still got another, crikey, 10-15 minutes before we see this water wheel, I think. We can't have walked past it, that is for sure. We can't have missed it. It's pretty big. So it's up here on the left shortly. So yeah, when we see it, we'll stop and have a little look around. So, that's what it looks behind us. And a few more big boulders up there in the trees. You can just make out there. As I say, Luxulyan village is very strange with all these big boulders. I don't know another place in Cornwall like it. If anybody does, let me know in the comments. And a big boulder or a big rock. That's a very definite shaped rock. Now, is it a rock or is it technically a boulder? A boulder I think of as something being round, and a rock I kind of think is something that looks like this. But yeah. Now where did it come from? The leak's a bit wider down here, folks. A bit more water in it as well up this end. There's a little bit of flow there, going from left to right. Just see like the bits of grass and bits of other stuff just sort of floating. Whew. Are we nearly there yet? I hear you say. Is this the waterwheel coming up here on the left? Oops. I don't know. Yeah. This is the wheel pit. It's coming up here on the left, folks. Oh, look at that. That's stunning. That is massive. So yeah, this is the wheel pit. I mean, the wheel, you can just make out there that that's the actual axle of the wheel in the middle there. The water would have come over the top of that, tipped into the actual wheel and driven that huge wheel, and that huge wheel probably wouldn't have been far off the bottom of this wheel pit. Massive great wheel. I'm not sure what the size of the wheel, but yeah, it's pretty overgrown since I was here last. Blimey. So yeah, there's a little path up here to the left which takes you up to the top of the water wheel. Hopefully it's not too overgrown and we'll be able to see some of the workings. So yeah, we'll just follow this path up to the left here, folks. Just want some steps. And we should see the old gears here. Hopefully, yeah. You can just see the top of some gears there. So, on the top of the actual axle of the wheel, the water wheel itself there. Yeah. We'll get a better view from up there in a minute. So that's where the water used to spill out over the top, on top of the wheel. Because like I said earlier, there is a leak up above us. Interesting, what's that then? Don't know, but it's made of iron. It's well bedded in. So let's climb up here. See all these metal bars sticking up here. Bit of a railing over there. But yeah, that's the actual wheel there. Well, not the wheel, but that's the actual axle of it. So this thing was potentially, I don't know, 20 foot, 40 foot diameter in total. I'll have to dig out the information on it. Again, as I say, I have got a picture of the actual wheel. Good job I've got good knees today anyway. I haven't seen anybody other than that one dog walker today, so I don't know where all these other cars and people are. Tell you what, I'm ready for a sit down. So yeah. Well, this is all pretty well dry. This leat here, when I came last time, this was actually flowing. Not very much, but it was flowing. So that's a picture of the wheel there, folks. It's difficult to try and anticipate how big it is. Another picture there actually, which is a bit better. A little map there of the actual site plan of the wheel, and then we've got a bit of, so yeah, there's buildings either side of the wheel, as you can see there, and that is it. That is a massive great wheel. On the right there you can see a big drive gear. In the middle would have been the wheel. To the left I'm not sure. Something bolted onto that, maybe another big gear wheel. I'm not 100% sure. Down in that bottom corner there is the remains of a crown wheel. A couple of crown wheels there actually. So just make out there's one on the left there and one on the right. So yeah, you could see all of that last time I was here. It's pretty overgrown today. If I can get the drone down there over the top of it all in a minute, we should get some good photos. Yeah. That's much better. I'm a bit closer up to it now. I don't remember if I came down this way last time. That's much better, isn't it? God, look at that, folks. So, the water spilled over that. I've just come down these steps on the left here. And then we're looking at the ironwork. That is massive. A couple of crown wheels there, just overgrown. pathway kind of continues around and down here. There's a little fireplace in the corner of the wall over there. Looks like that pathway does actually enable you to get right in there, actually. It's interesting. Let's follow this. That'll be even better. So, looks like this pathway. Don't think I came down as far as this last time. Don't even think I came down here at all last time. Quite a few butterflies flying around. This gate is open. We are right in the thick of it here, folks. Yeah. I think people have climbed over there, by the looks of it. A bit of a drop there. Oh, that's solid, isn't it? Let's see if I can walk around here without breaking my neck. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. Don't think I like the look of the timber very much. Oops. Oh, look at that. That's wicked. Looks like people have been here before. I think.
I'm feeling like a golden good, I feel the sun.
So that's the drone flying done, guys. Had a nice hour or two down here. So let's walk back up these steps. Look at that for a big gear. Must have been an intermediate gear here somewhere. Two big crown wheels there. Big stub gear there. That main gear there. That wood's all rotten there. As you can see, guys. Yeah, must have had a separate gear mounted on those two stubs there. In fact, you can see on the end there, look, the shaft that must have come out the end. So, right. Well, this was all open. It wasn't padlocked or anything. So, haven't broken any laws. Up the steps. Whew. Looks like somebody's climbed up that way. So yeah, that's the top of the chimney. In there. So somebody obviously had a fireplace here. So you can see the leak that would have come out over the top of the wheel. So the wheel was almost touching that leak there, although that was probably extended a little bit more as well actually in the picture there. That's a massive wheel. Massive wheel. I'm looking at the history of this place. So in this side here, there was a mill for grinding up Cornish granite for China clay, and over the other side, over that side of the wheel, was another grinding house for grinding up the China clay. So, and the China clay or the stone came down either side of that. Not sure what that's called though, but where the water comes out there was a slope where the China, well not China clay, but where the granite was coming down the chute and into this house here and into the house on the other side of the wheel there. So yeah, must have been quite noisy. Grinding up stone isn't exactly a quiet business. So, and then there's a tramway which goes along this top trail here. Oh no, tell a lie, the middle trail there. Which would have took it out to Ponce Mill for further processing. Ponce Mill being in the direction of the arrow that I'll stick up on the video. But yeah, very interesting place. Glad I got some good video of it today. And lots of pictures. Right, back to the bridge, or the aqueduct. Certainly warm. Right, no padlocks or anything on here. I legitimately went down there and had a look. So, taking care that I shut it again. So, Right. That's pretty damn hot down there. Now, if I remember, there's a little building here. Oh, in fact, there's a couple of little buildings here, actually. Possibly little cottages for the people that work at the mill, maybe. That's one fireplace, isn't it? Look at that. That's some fireplace. That's the thickest part of the cottage there. So that way goes off down to Ponds Mill eventually. There's another processing plant for China clay dry, I think it was, over the other side of the railway line, which we've just been looking at on the drone. Bit bigger than the other cottage we've just been looking in. Fireplace isn't so prominent. That looks like that goes up to the chimney there. Just a single story cottage. Might have been the cottage for the winding cable. Yeah, it's definitely steel cable. Seen better days now though. Yeah, that's definitely winding cable. That's steel wire armoured cable, that is. Or steel cable. Yeah, that's a good find. Did see another clump of it over the other side there a minute ago actually, but didn't really take a lot of notice. Let's go and see if we can find that. It just looked like a bit of a clearing, to be honest. See if we can find it, because I wouldn't have seen that steel cable from where I was a minute ago. So this is the other cottage over here. I'm sure that's the, it's got to be the train, isn't it? Missed the bloody train. Yeah, it's got to be the train, isn't it? Yeah, sounds like it. Oh, maybe I was imagining it. Other cottage is here, which I've just walked inside. So much bigger, broader fireplace there, as you can see behind me. Yeah, this is much smaller though. Much smaller cottage. Right, let's head back to the bridge, or the aqueduct as I should be calling it. So, right, stop for a quick drink a minute. Absolutely parched. What we're looking at here, guys, is the actual clamps that would have clamped the rails down to these stones for this tramway. There's another one there that's half missing. So yeah, and this tramway would have originated from the village of Luxulyan over the top of the aqueduct. Looks like it's going to rain now. It's gone very dark. Hopefully it doesn't rain before I get to the bridge, because otherwise I'm going to get soaked. Because I wasn't expecting rain. Yeah. Another clamp there for the track. A few more up here. Another one there. Not much left of that one. So this was a narrow gauge tramway. Nothing like the broad gauge or standard gauge that they use for trains these days, which is, I think, 4 for 8, something like that. So yeah, this was a lot narrower gauge. We've missed the train running between Newquay and Parr. I think it was heading to Parr when I heard it a few minutes ago. Keep getting the selfie stick in view here. It's unprofessional of me. Get this down a bit. Oh, there's actually a bit of tramway rail here coming up in a minute. Yeah, another fastening there. Another two there, so that gives you a rough idea of the broadness of the gauge of the rails, which is about 3 foot by the looks of, well, yeah, about 3 foot by the looks of it. So we've actually got some rail here. So that's the rail head, a bit like modern railways. It's like a eye-shaped bit of bar, basically. Clamps between those clamps. So these probably would have been pulled along by pony. Bit more track here on the left coming up. So yeah, I reckon that's about 3 foot, something like that. Thought that was my hospital appointment popping up there saying I had 19 minutes to get there for a minute. That had me worried. Well, it's not that late already. Yeah, very dry down there. Very dry, as you can see. Just mud. Looks like dogs have been walking through there, getting all nice and muddy. Yeah, definitely not much water down there, guys. It's damp. There's a little bit of moisture there, but no, they've certainly stopped the flow there. That crosses the path further down, which we just looked at. Now I'm tripping over one of the tramway sleepers now. So yeah, we're not too far away now from the aqueduct. It's quite a long aqueduct as well. Put more information on it in the video. It's nice and sheltered under these trees out of the sun, which is good. There's a grate over there I've just seen. I wonder if that is the tunnel. Kind of see that. Don't know whether I'm going to be able to get over to that to see it exactly. But that is, with the grate on it there, that is the tunnel, I think, that brings the water from Luxulyan Quarry, I think. Not 100% sure. Try and get up there. Yes, I can, I think. Right. Let me break my bloody neck here. We'll go this way. Ooh. Okay. Good. Yeah. I think this was the tunnel that was bored. I think that was the tunnel that was bored, which goes in the direction of Luxulyan Quarry. It's not a big tunnel, just carries water I think, and there is another one by the looks of it. So yeah, two tunnels, one there and one there. That also helped bring water into that top leat, which is down there. So I'm actually stood in the leat here now. It's quite deep. It's quite deep here. My stomach rumbling now. So yeah, that's going towards the Aqueduct. This is going towards Punts Mill. Right, let's try and get out of here now without slipping over and breaking my neck. Ooh. I'm glad I found those 2 tunnels there. That's a bonus. Lucky I spotted them, really. Lucky I spotted them. I don't fancy going that way. That way looks very china clayish, very slippery. Right, we can't be too far away here now. That looks like a milestone there for the railway. Well, tramway. I don't think I'm going to have time to do any flying at the Aqueduct today. Might have to come back another day. We're here actually, we're at the Aqueduct. This is where it widens out here in a minute. Don't remember seeing this little stone building on the left here. Don't remember that. So the rails, see the rails split there. Go off in 2 different directions. A bit windy, you know, pleased to say, although that's not good for flying. So this is the Aqueduct, folks. There's a penstock there. Oh. I think it's going to be too windy. So it's quite decorative pillars to this bridge here. It's one of these top hats, if you like, either side of the bridge. Yeah, it's very windy here. Crikey. So folks, it's a bit too windy to fly the drone at this end, for my liking. So I'll have to come back another day. And do this as a separate thing, which isn't a bad thing really. Because I'd like to spend an hour having a good look around this end, because, well, not this end but the other end actually, because there's some ponds, some holding ponds at the other end of the bridge, Aqueduct. So yeah, I'd like to spend a bit more time really So this is one of the pen stocks here, which looks like it's been replaced actually. Yeah, it's got a new mechanism put on it. But there's no water going through there. I'm pretty sure I've come up that way before actually. Board. So where we're going, folks, is down here. Believe it or not, years ago I managed to get the car up here, so now it's looking quite narrow down there now. Black Hill car park. Pretty sure that's the car park I'm at. So that's where. Crikey, these are big steps. So you can see over there. That is the bridge stroke aqueduct. Down there. And that path down there is the path we were on earlier. So we are going in the right direction. Yeah, the wind's getting up a bit. I certainly wouldn't like to risk getting the drone up now, to be honest. It'd be different if it was the big one, but it's not. It's only a little one. It don't take very much for it to get blown around out there. I can always tell when it's a little bit too windy for the drone because the gimbal gets upset. Comes up and tells me that the gimbal's gone too far in one direction or something like that. So there's nothing broken with it, I don't think. It's a very flimsy bit of technology really. I'm not used to flying in high winds. So going back to our boulders, there's a huge boulder there, various other boulders that we've walked past. It is one of those unique things of Luxulyan, as I say. Having huge boulders just randomly dotted around the village. I know when I was driving along the lanes coming back from land livery the other day, I was looking over the hedges and I could just see a field with about 8 huge boulders just half sort of sticking out of the ground. Now that is really weird. Car park's not too far away now, folks. The end of our little visit. It's nearing its end. I've just got to go through the kissing gate here. Over the little bridge. Nice little picnic area down there in the shade. So that's where we went along earlier. Yeah, And we're back at base. The end is nigh. That's the information board we looked at earlier. And now we're back at the parking area.